And I think now we are. Yep, we are live on YouTube. Hi everyone, it's Global Scholarships, and I'm your host. As I hope you're all doing well. I hope everything is going great. And today we are here with another weekly live stream. And I'm, as always, here joined by Eamon. Eamon, hi, how are you? How are things going?
Hi, Az. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? How have you been?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. So everyone, if you're new here, hang on. If you're new here, we are Global Scholarships. We are here every Friday. We do live streams. We have a YouTube channel. We have a TikTok account. On both sides, we always share a lot of informative stuff about studying abroad, about scholarship opportunities for international students, etc., etc. We also have live streams on both YouTube and TikTok. You can come ask your questions and etc. So as you can see, we also have a website, globalscholarships.com, and in our you can use our website to get a lot of information about studying abroad for different topics. Hang on, let me actually show you like this. Oh, right. So if you go to globalscholarships.com right now, first you'll see our search tool. You can type in anything here to search for scholarships. For example, if you want to study in Germany, you can just type in Germany and choose the country. Please, how do I get scholarships without SAT? Asks Nana Kwame. And Shahzod, I believe Haidaro asked, I want to study in Italy. Is that a good idea or no? Haidaro, we have made a video on our live stream. Like we talked about this in our prior live streams. You can see those. That might be a good idea. But in general, studying in Italy can be a very good idea because tuition fees are very affordable, very low. We have some very high quality education institutions in Italy, and in general, also like living costs are not extremely high. Like they are more affordable than what you would see maybe in Germany, maybe in United Kingdom or places like United States, Australia, etc., etc. So yeah, it might be a good idea. Eamon, do you want to add anything about this one?
Um, no, I think you summed it up pretty much. And
Yeah,
I think the best resource was our live stream where we dedicated the entire live stream to studying in Italy.
yeah.
And I think we discussed a lot of the nuances that come into studying Italy, what you should do, what you shouldn't do,
So,
the cost of living, the cost of studying,
mhm,
etc. So that's a good place to start. And then we covered a lot of scholarships offered by the government or universities themselves.
yeah,
So yeah, you can just go back to that and you'll find everything you're looking for.
yeah, that's a good source of information. Also, if you're looking for scholarships, you can just go to globalscholarships.com, type in Italy, and we have some, like, not that many scholarships, but the ones that you will find are either very comprehensive, very generous scholarships, or even the ones that are not extremely generous. Hang on, actually, let me share the link with you. Even like the partial scholarships are very, very good because like the tuition fees and living costs are already not that high. So even like 1,000 euro, like 500 euro every month scholarship will get you very, very far ahead of your expenses. So yeah, that might, if you have any other specific questions, we'll be happy to try and help you. And so, Eamon, how about this other question? Please, how do I get scholarships without SAT? What do you think?
There are probably every scholarship is now does not require the
Mm-hmm.
SAT. Most universities are test optional, which means that they don't even take SAT into consideration unless you want them to. And generally, students who want the SAT to be considered are those who have low GPAs, for example, or just had some unfortunate circumstances during their academic journey. So they would have a low GPA, but it doesn't really reflect their real level. So they take the SAT or any other standardized exam, the ACT, GRE for graduate students, and they ask the university to consider their application for the university or the scholarship based on their SAT score rather than their actual GPA, and they can explain why. But for the most part, you don't really need the SAT for any scholarships. There are for sure automatic scholarships that are awarded on the basis of your SAT scores, but those are um, dedicated to that. So you get a scholarship based on your standardized test scores, your language proficiency scores, or your GPA, or a combination of all three. And those are called automatic scholarships. They are awarded without you having to apply for them. And they're most commonly found in the United States. But as a general rule, you don't really need the SAT.
Okay, thank you very much, Jelly. I'm not. I think you're talking about Eamon. Um, Regardless, thank you very much. Hi there, Kodama. It's always very nice to see you here. Thank you very much for joining us once again for our live stream. Are you aware of Turkey government scholarships? Is it currently open? What are the requirements? Okay, so first let's start with we're gonna get to each one of your questions, but I think the first one was Kedir Ahmet. Any idea you can share on Chinese government scholarships? Scholarship and can I get a scholarship for MBBS? So I've shared the link with you for our guide on Chinese government scholarships, and do you do you want to share any insights about this one? Emil, I don't really know much, to be honest.
Sorry, about the
Chinese,
Chinese is
yeah.
government scholarship. Um, I think we have a few recipient stories about that, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me
Uh,
see.
so this is where I would start. I would start with people who have already gotten the scholarships. They have been through the process. Um, they actually got the scholarship, so they would have the best advice for you. They would tell you the things they did in order to achieve that, and some of them even share what made their, or in their opinion, what made their scholarship stand out. So I would start with that. And
All right.
then I think most of the eligibility criteria would be available on their website or on our own dedicated page on global scholarships.
All right. So this is we have one recipients right now for this scholarship. Um, yeah. So you can look into this, and they gave a very detailed account of what they've done. So basically, you go to globalscholarships.com, resources, scholarship stories by country, filtered for China, and then we have four people here, and one of them here is a recipient of Chinese government scholarships. So you can also look into this to see like whether they are like available for your program, uh, like bachelor's MB. Hang on, what happened? So wait, why is my you cannot see the screen, can you? No, you cannot. This is odd. Let me see. Okay, hang on. Yep, and now it should be fixed. Here it is. So, no, Eamon is here. Don't worry about that. He's here, ready to help us with any of your questions. So yeah, you can look into these. If you still have more questions, well, we are here every Friday, and also you can just leave your question here. He only answers pretty much every single question that is left here. So, Koatama, before we come to your question, Hydro followed up with saying, last year I tried to study in Korea, but I failed. Now I want to study in European countries for most traveling and studying. So yeah, studying in Korea can be a little difficult. Like even though tuition fees are not extremely high, language can be really a pickle. Also, like it will be depending on where you study, it can be very expensive too. So, like if you have any specific things that you are interested in, or maybe something that you have difficulty in Korea, and you are kind of like concerned that like will I have the same problem in Italy? Maybe we can help you better with that. Like the more specific the questions are, the better we can help you. Quantama says, "Are you? Yeah. Turkey government scholarships isn't is currently open. What are the requirements?" So pretty much the same. You can go to global scholarships. So yeah, we know. Actually, I think we've made a video about that one. Hang on, let me see. Scholarships, popular government scholarships. And yeah, here it is. Turkey scholarships. So the application. Hang on, actually, let me share the link with you so you can also look for yourself. Can I transfer from China to Europe? I don't think there is a specific thing that prevents that transferring from China to Europe, USA, or Australia. Eamon, is there like a specific thing that prevents people from transferring from China to Europe, USA, or Australia?
Not that I know of. I think there are no restrictions in that regard. Um, there are some countries that don't really acknowledge your previous degrees, or for example, if you're at your second degree right now in China, then you would have to start over. But for the most part, there is no restriction as far as just transferring. So if you want to transfer and be at your same year, so if you're second year, transfer as a second year student in your in Europe or USA or Australia, uh, there are probably no restrictions. You can double check with the university, but you should be fine for the most part. As long as you can afford it, you would be easily be. I mean, afford it, and you need to also uh, have the grades or the academic records that would support you going to that university. You need to prove that you are able to attend that university or just meet their requirements, and you should be good to go. So I don't know of any restrictions that would prevent you from doing that. I think the only country that I heard did this was South Korea, but I have never seen any issues with European universities, American ones, or Australian ones.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Kodma, this is the link for Turkey scholarships. I'm pretty sure here it says the application deadline, the application starts January 10, so it didn't even start yet. So you still have time. We have made a video about that. So you can look at this. And if you still have any questions, you can leave your comments here, or you can just like come and ask in our live stream. So also like if you have any questions specifically about Turkey scholarships, about like maybe like insurance accommodation, about like the procedure, legal procedures, and you want to get more information, I might be able to help you with more specifics. Since you know I'm from Turkey and like not a lot of information are readily available. So email or what? No, we so basically this is kind of the best way to reach out to us. Um, so hang on, we still let me see. We used to have a consultation service, but yeah, okay, that's not open right now. So best way to reach out to us is either this or like leaving a comment in our comment section or here. Other than that, I don't think we have like are we answering emails or WhatsApp? I don't think so, but Amen.
It just depends on the query, really. So if it's general student help, I would say that the live stream or the posts are the best way to get in touch with us. But
Yeah.
when it comes to things that are related to partnerships or collaborations with other uh, platforms or such things, that email would be the best way. So it just depends on the query. Uh, we don't really use WhatsApp, but so either email, which is partnerships@globalscholarships.com, uh, or just for general queries, I would just about studying abroad, I would come to the live stream or just comment below a relevant post, and you would get a reply.
Right. Thank you. One thing I can say about, like, clearly say about Turkey scholarships is that be wary of these numbers, like monthly stipends. I'm not sure how often these are updated on our website, and I'm not sure how often they are updated on, how frequently they're updated on, like the original website. Hang on, why am I not? Let me see. We have to have page. Sorry, here. Like the original one, yeah, here it is. So because of course, like if you want to study in Turkey, you would be like, you would know that we have an insanely high inflation problem that have been going on for years now. Yeah, nothing. So yeah, those numbers, like look at those numbers and see like what is the latest number, because they update it all the time. So like um, you might want to just like maybe call the university or the institution and see. So yeah, Voyager, um, that is kind of right. I wish I could say that no, we don't have that kind of an issue here. But yeah, we have some really problematic issues here in Turkey. And yes, like there are so many things from the like from the economy, from the things you are mentioning, that might make it a very unpleasant experience for international students, unfortunately. Of course, no one would like to say that for their home country, but you know, you also don't want to give people false information. Anyway, I don't see any other. Is there any scholarships for Europe master's degree? So here, what you can do. Yes, there are. Hey, Menek, you can go to global scholarships. Now we don't have. I don't think we have like specifically for Europe masters, but what you could do, can go to global scholarships if you have a specific country in mind. A lot of scholarships that you will see will be probably like United Kingdom. Like a lot of European countries, especially universities, do not offer that many scholarships. But what you could do is, like, for example, if you want to study in France, you can type in France and see the scholarships in our database. So we have like 7 of these. So, for example, this is in Sorbonne. This is ENS Lyon. You can look into these, but keep in mind that most of these are for the scholarships by the university. There are also other scholarships that are from external institutions like the government, etc., etc. One of the main ones is, of course, hang on, DAD. Eamon, is there something that you specifically want to mention for this one, like Europe master's degree scholarships?
Um, yeah, so as you said, the most reliable scholarships for masters are those offered by the governments
Yeah,
um, in European countries. Tuition is for the most part free in most countries, but when it is not, it doesn't really exceed 750 euros per semester. So it's much, much, much more affordable than it is in the United States or Canada or Australia. Um, but those free tuition scholarships obviously don't really cover
yeah,
living expenses, and that's why the governments of these countries offer scholarships that would cover your living expenses. They are for the most part for graduate students. Some of them are offered to both undergraduate and graduates, but I believe that most of them are really targeting masters and PhD students. So you should look into that. So there is one in Switzerland, there's one in France, in Germany, in Italy. Um, there is one offered by the Netherlands government. Uh, so Eastern Europe, you can find Hungary, Romania. Those are countries that also offer scholarships to international students. But uh, even the UK, which is, well, technically in Europe, not part of the EU, but um, that's another option with the Chevening, and that's also for graduate students.
Okay, thank you. James Bond asks any full funding scholarships for bachelors in Finland or Norway. So, yeah, not as much in Norway. Let's see, Finland. Usually there aren't that many. Um, okay, so like Finland has way more. Let's look for full funding ones. Now, I'm afraid the answer, like the real answer to your question is a no. But keep in mind that these are just the ones offered by universities to new coming students. So there are scholarships that universities offer to already enrolled students, and there are scholarships offered by external institutions. Hello, I only get BAC. I suspect that is, can I apply to what? Can you make the question a little bit more specific? Jex, say, I'm not Jack. Let's say Jack. Can you make the question a little bit more specific? Can you explain about the bond in NTU Singapore 6-year bond? I don't think I know much about that. Amen.
Well, to be honest, neither do I.
Right, 6-year bond.
But I can, yeah, but I can look into it.
All right. Amenix says I've studied my bachelor's in, I think you mean in Turkey. I'm kind of concerned if European countries would accept it. I think it kind of depends on what university you have studied in. Also, what you could do, you could look into the university's application process. So, like, if you have a specific university in mind, once again, you could go and see. Let's say if you want to study in masters, let's say you want to study in France, right? You can look into any university and see their application procedure. They usually give you information about like what type of qualifications they accept and what they do not. I'm Somali citizen and I live in Turkey. Can I apply the scholarship? If you mean the Turkey government scholarships, I don't think there is anything that kind of prevents you from applying to that. You can look into. Hang on, actually, let me see. How can I do the application? I want to study in Norwich. I want to do bachelor. So you want to study in Norway for bachelor? How can you apply to a university? So basically, I think you would have to look for tutorials. So we have 2 JAGs now. So you would have to look for tutorials about a specific university because like it is different for every university. Some universities accept online applications. Some universities need you to literally send your documents via mail, like actual mail. So yeah, that kind of depends on the university. Can I apply the scholarship? Global scholarship. So, okay, here's what you could do. You're from Somalia, right? You can. Let's hit enter here and see in the nationality section. Somalia. So these are the scholarships that you are eligible for based on your nationality. You can filter further for other things like degree, location, etc., etc. Most scholarships do not care about your nationality. Some scholarships are like more targeted at people, at specific people. Scholarship, there is it expensive. So Jack, if you're asking like, are there any scholarships? Is it expensive? So you can go to our YouTube channel right now. You know what? Why am I doing this? Let me show you where actually you can find a lot of information. Go to globalscholarships.com, guide section. We have country guides, right? We've all, and in the Europe section, we have like study in Norway. All right, click on that, and you will see a lot, like a huge collection of guides, like from pros and cons, higher education, best English taught universities, best universities for international students, best business like a specific program school, applying to university, and like language tests, etc., financing, how to study in Norway for free. You can see these, and these will give you a lot of information. And also for this one, we've made a video too. You can also watch this on our YouTube channel if you want. So yeah, if you have any more specific questions, that might be a better use of our time here. So Mohammed Saidani says, "Hello, my academic average is 90, but I don't have an English exam. What advice for any advice for scholarship?" Ayman, their average is
Uh,
90, but no English exam.
well, first of all, I want to go back to the previous question.
The
Um,
bond one.
about the 6 year one. Yeah, so it turns out that students who get a scholarship are actually compelled to serve a 3 year or 6 year bond where they have to work in Singapore and contribute to the economy before they can do anything else. For so they get two passes for work. So they get either an employment pass or a skill pass, and then for the employment pass, they need to get a job that pays at least 5K. And for the skill pass, the requirements are much less. So you need to just get a job that pays you at least 2.5K. And and basically what the downside of the skill pass is, you'd need to, so companies have a quota to employ people, and local people would have uh, the edge over foreign students. So you would have a much harder time to find a job. And for employment pass, you would probably have uh, less issues in finding a job, but you would have the issue of finding a job that pays at least 5K, which is now quite easy. So these are the issues that I saw people um, are facing. I'm not sure what kind of information you're looking for exactly, but this sums it up a little bit. If you're looking for any specific information, I think after reading a little bit, I can help you with that. As far as the English exam is concerned, many scholarships don't ask for that if you're a native speaker or if you had your previous education in English. If you can prove that, that's fine. Otherwise, you would have to, as a foreign student, prove that you are proficient in English, and the only way to do it is to sit for English proficiency exams, be it TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo for universities that accept it, or any other accepted standardized test.
All right, thank you very much, Ayman. So okay, I don't see any other questions now. We can move on to our daily topic. We got a lot of questions. So normally you would start earlier in the live stream. If you have been waiting for that, I'm sorry. but we have to, like, it's more a Q&A live stream, so we had to answer the questions. Now, today we're gonna see the cost of living in Switzerland for international students. So basically, we have guides based on this. All right, like cost of studying. We have other for others as well. I made a couple of videos about this, and I'm trying to find how interested you are, because I think it's a very important topic if you want to study abroad. But for like a couple of videos I made, I didn't think you were that interested. So this is for Switzerland. Switzerland, of course, is one of the most expensive places. One of the most, like, it is literally the most expensive country in the world. So like these will be the most expensive places you'll find in anywhere. But of course, the correspondingly the quality of education is very high. So you can see first of all, as a like non-student normal person, how much you would need to stay in Switzerland. You can't find it here. Nambio has a really good cost of living index, which is actually kind of a map. So basically, when you look at this, right, you'll see that we have greens and reds, and green means it's affordable, and red means more expensive. So as you can see, Switzerland is pretty much like it is the highest levels you will find. So here in the numbers, basically New York is 100, like it's the basis for their estimations. And as you can see, Switzerland, like every city they have is pretty much over 100. So like these are all more expensive than New York. For example, Zurich, I believe, is the most expensive city, or what I think like maybe second. So you will see, you'll need about like $1,600, $1,700 a month. That is without rent, and rent is even more expensive. It's like about $2,000. But now, this is the estimation of living costs for a normal person, a non-student person. Now we'll see. Went out and seen a couple of, like, tried to find a couple of universities and their estimations for how much a student would need to study in Switzerland. So we're gonna see those in a second. But first, Eamon, what would you want to say about, like, in general, studying in Switzerland and living costs, or studying costs in Switzerland?
Um, yeah, so studying costs are never the issue. They are quite affordable. They're probably as affordable as any country in Europe.
Mhm.
You would have to pay around 1,500 euros per year, which is not much at all in the grand scheme of things. If you
Yeah.
compare it to any other country, it's pretty much free. I know that there are a lot of people who can't afford that, but it's still uh quite cheap. Uh the 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 whole thing is about the cost of living, because everything is so expensive, starting from rent to the most basic things. I have seen a lot of American people who are quite affluent. They have the money, but they complain about how expensive it is to visit or live in Switzerland. I think the estimation on Nambio is quite correct, without rent. And I think if you factor in health insurance for students, the cost of tuition per semester, and the cost of living in general,
Mhm.
it would amount to about 2 to 3,000 euros, or Swiss francs per month. So if you want to study in Switzerland, I think a few years ago, the requirement was an account that has at least 20,000 Swiss francs before you can apply. So you would need to a proof of funds amounting to 20,000 Swiss francs per year in order to attend a university in Switzerland. Another point to clarify is that finding a part-time job is not gonna be easy,
Yeah.
especially for international students. You would really need a European passport in order to get a job, and if you do, you would actually be or need to be the kind of person who can balance between school, social life, and work, and you would have no time at all. Um, the work or the hourly rate is really good, so you'd be paid around 20 Swiss francs per hour. And you can, if you can work during the weekends, you can probably cover your rent through part-time work if you can find any. Other than that, you'd still need the funds. You with part-time work, I would say you'd still need about 15,000 a year to survive in Switzerland.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I can see that for some reason, like my page, like this the page isn't visible on TikTok. I'm not sure why. Like there isn't any there isn't a problem that I can see. It just decided to not show it basically. Let me try it once more. Then I'm gonna have to move on. Um, yeah, no, maybe we'll come back. Basically, yeah, I don't know what else to say. So yes, thank you very much, Eamon. As you said, it's a very expensive place. Now, normally I wouldn't really be interested in making like talking about like cost of living here anyway. But like it turns out that that's like one of the most popular topics, like countries in our YouTube content. Like a lot of people are interested, are watching videos, are asking questions, etc., etc. So yeah, now as you said, like it will take a lot of money, but now we're gonna see a couple of estimations. Now, first of all, as Eamon said, studying costs are pretty much negligible when compared to like how much you're gonna have to pay for just living there. Usually, the biggest issue will be like accommodation because rents are extremely high in Switzerland. Even people living there. Okay, are we even live on TikTok at this point? I don't think we are. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, so even people who are living there, working there, and etc., like their entire life is there, even they have a lot of like a lot of issues being able to afford accommodation. But like studying costs, tuition fees, as you can see, are very affordable. Now, let's see. Actually, for example, Zurich, studying in Zurich, right? Now, let me show you. So this is the cost of living estimation for ETH Zurich. One of the best universities you will find, like one of the main universities you'll find in Switzerland. So as you can see, tuition fee, this is per semester. Keep in mind, so this is individual study costs, which per month is about like 400 Swiss francs. And by the way, a Swiss franc is basically 1.1 dollar. So like this, like 400 Swiss francs will be about $440. Keep that in mind. And then you have your individual costs, like rent, which will be about like 900 or something like 1,000, which also like this room including heat, etc., etc. Now some universities estimate this a little lower, we're gonna see, but like I think this is probably maybe a shared apartment. Like I think about 1,000 Swiss francs is just like a shared apartment or maybe accommodation in the university. Meals, like basically groceries, is about like 600. I've seen this like something between 400 to up to 1,000 Swiss francs. You have public transport, health insurance. Health insurance can be quite a burden here too. And then for your individual expenses, it's just 140, and it comes up to 1,800 Swiss francs. And when you add the studying costs, like this and this, of course, this is divided by 6 because it's per semester. So it's about like, as Eamon said, it's about 2,000 Swiss francs, or it would be about, I think, $2,300 every month. And for every single year, you'll be paying about like 28,000 dollars, or maybe $29,000, which is extremely high. That is true. Without any scholarships, that's right. But it is also less than pretty much the lowest tuition fee you will find in the United States, basically. Yeah, okay. There are some, like, there are very, very, very few tuition fees that you will find in the United States lower than $30,000. But again, this is like one of the best universities you'll find in Switzerland. So I think in that sense, this is like without any scholarships, without anything, without any financial aid. So yeah, it is very expensive. But again, like when compared to how much tuition fee you would have to pay in the United States, it is like it doesn't look that insanely expensive. Eamon, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, no, you're right. You're right.
I mean, obviously, like tuition fee is seen in the United States as a cost of having higher education, and there are way more scholarships that you will find in the United States than you will find in Switzerland, of course. But like if you cannot have any scholarship, like it's still not as expensive as the United States tuition fees, and also there you'll have to pay for your living costs too, which will not be this high, but still. So this was ETH Zurich, and as you can see, it's about like $2,000, 2,000 Swiss francs per month, which is like what our guide has estimated. And then we have Geneva. So hang on, let me actually see. We have also one for an estimation for Geneva, right? So this is Geneva Graduate Institute. This is like one of the, in its own area, which I believe is international relations. It is one of the best universities, high institutions that you will find. Like this institute, kind of like its alumni includes people like General Secretary of United Nations. Like there is a very close tie between Geneva and like international organizations, NGOs, etc., etc. So it's like one of the top universities you could go for this type of education. So as you can see, we have the tuition fees, which is very, very affordable, like 1,000, 3,000 Swiss francs, a couple of $1,000. Again, as Eamon said, can be unaffordable for still a lot of people, but when compared to most universities, they are very, very, very reasonable numbers. So these are the costs. These are like the tuitions, etc. And then we have like a guide on who is a Swiss resident, and then we have living costs, like their estimation. You can click on here, monthly budget estimate, to see. As you can see, so like their estimation for rent is a little bit more affordable compared to Zurich. Monthly rental charges vary widely in Geneva, both in private accommodation and student residences. So, Graduate Institute Student House. So, by the way, let me actually, can I do that? Hang on. Never mind. I wanted to show you the university and where it is. Like it's just by the lake. So like that would be where you would uh, stay. So it's about like 750 francs. Like if you want to stay in a studio apartment, it's about like 1,200 francs. And yeah, so we have food pretty much the same. As you can see, it's a little cheaper here. Public transport, health insurance. Again, as you can see, health insurance can be from 60 to 400 Swiss francs. So it kind of ranges. And mobile phone, etc. So as you can see, this is about like 1,400, 1,500 Swiss francs, and like up to 3,000. And again, their yearly estimation is about 20,000 Swiss francs, which would be less than $20,000. Again, it is very expensive, but like if you are going to this university, this institute, like it will be pretty much the best education you will be able to get pretty much anywhere. But also like the connections you will have here will be just like top profile, I could say. So yeah, Geneva is a little less expensive than Zurich, and then I think we had one more. Okay, so this was Geneva. So for Lausanne, it's about like our guide kind of estimates about 2,500. So we have École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. I don't think. Let's see. As you can see, tuitions are still very affordable. We have some scholarships, some fundings. For example, let me see. Let's see this one, right? If we go to the university's page for the scholarship, can we get like a budget estimation directly from the university? No, I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, for Lausanne, it's about like 2,500, and then we also have one for Basel. Let me see that too. Hi there, Karuku. Welcome to our live stream. So this is another one, University of Basel, one of like the main universities here in Switzerland. As you can see, tuition fees are less than $2,000, right? So they have some full funding scholarships as well for PhD positions. And again, if you have any questions, by the way, you can just leave them here. As you can see, Hyun answers every single question. And then we have another living cost estimation for this university. I think the only one I couldn't find was Lausanne. So this is for Basel. Basically, as you can see, University of Basel. We have semester fees, education cost, accommodation. Again, so accommodation here seems to be more affordable, even more affordable, like 600. We have food, again, more affordable. Healthcare, transport, a little bit more than other places. And then we have like both leisure and additional costs. So it's about like 2,000. But like I think some of these are a little bit more than like what they need to be. Like for example, we have leisure and additional costs. So yeah, I think like yearly this would still be about something between 20 to 25,000 Swiss francs, which would still be below $30,000. Of course, like if you have someone there that you can stay with, yeah, it will considerably reduce your living costs. Social services team is available to explain and offer advice on any issues regarding financing, grants, and scholarships. I would really like. I would absolutely take them up on that. So we have also this link here. So yeah, mainly you will be looking at something like I'd say 20,000 to maybe a little more than $30,000 per year, which is a very considerable sum of money. But again, studying in Switzerland, like these universities will give you some of the best education you will find, and it is still not as expensive as you will get in some American universities that are not that high ranking either. So I think that's one of the like uplifting sides of this. So we have also in our guide ways to minimize academic and living costs in Switzerland, scholarships for international students, part-time for international students, which Avon talked about. We have actually, let me see. We also have a video on this, how to study in Switzerland for free, which is like which is a video that you were really interested in. So you might want to check that out. Do we have a country guide for this? Let's see. Yeah, we do. So we do have a country guide, where you can see like pretty much everything you would need, from higher education information to pros and cons, universities, programs, applying to universities, language proficiencies, and yeah, this is the one, how to study in Switzerland for free, where you will find even more information about how to finance your education here, and then you can also watch our video too. Anyway, that's pretty much it on what we want to say about studying, like the cost of studying in Switzerland. Eamon, do you want to say anything else about this topic?
So for the University of Lausanne, I think I sent you a link. Uh, they don't have an English dedicated page. It's only in French.
Hmm.
And speaking of that, it's really, really hard to find English taught courses at the bachelor's level in
Yeah.
Switzerland. So Switzerland is a country that has four official languages. So it's not an English speaking country per se. I think the predominant language is French. They speak Italian and I think Romansh,
Yeah.
um, on top of English. But at the undergraduate level, it's really hard to find English taught courses. You would only find, or not only, but you would find more of those at the graduate levels. So as a master's or a PhD student, you would find courses that are taught in English. So anyone who wants to study in Switzerland and can speak French or Italian, I would say French uh to to a bigger extent. You need to reconsider where you want to study. Maybe you
Yeah.
should look into other countries, uh, if the cost of living is not an issue for you. Yeah, so other than that, I think that's a big point to make that I forgot to make earlier. Just remembered when I only found the page in French. Yeah, other than that, I think we have pretty much covered everything concerning the cost of studying and living in Switzerland.
Yeah. So, by the way, this is not so this page at least has an English version. I think like probably you cannot directly go to this one, but I've seen so many pages where you can choose either Italian, German, or French, and there is no English.
Oh yeah.
Basically, they don't have any. But one thing that might be a little bit like a silver lining from that is, so basically there are different places, like different regions in the country, and like so perhaps maybe you want to study in Switzerland, but you don't know any German. So if you know French, you can just like go to a French-speaking part, or maybe you know Italian, you can just go to Italian-speaking part, and a lot of people will be speaking that language. So like if you do not know, it's not like that. You will go there by just knowing one language, and people will always expect you to speak another language, like another one of those languages too, so like your social life will be crippled. At least you will know before going what language will be spoken there, and it's kind of like an kind of nice, because like like from what I see, like they're all like their own different countries. Like the French part is like a little more French than German part. Italian part is a little bit Italian, but they're still all Switzerland. So by the way, completely like living costs and how expensive things are kind of depends on that too. Like Italian side of the country will be a little bit more affordable than the German part, because like also the average income is a little lower too. So like at least this is one thing that I really like about German universities, and I think that like Switzerland kind of also has this. Like they have a lot of bureaucracy, and it can be really tiresome for people who are going there from other countries. But also they like everything is very very exact, I would say. Like you will know what you're getting into before you go there. Like they give you a lot of information from the get-go. So I think that that's kind of better in terms that like there are less unpleasant surprises, I guess. So I think that's one of the silver linings here. So yeah, by the way, this is also like 2,000 francs per month. Again, pretty much the same. So, all right, guys, I don't see any new questions, any details on PhD programs in psychology in your videos. PhD programs, like I don't think we've made any videos on that. Also, I cannot show you, even if I, hang on, sorry. Let me try it once again. Okay, now it's working. Now it decided to work. Okay, Nina. So let's say psychology, right? Subject, and then let's choose PhDs. Will it do the same thing? No. Okay, so let's try it again. So basically, when you choose a subject in our filters search tool, first they will show you the scholarship that specifically mentions that program. For example, this is for biochemistry, biology, chemistry, molecular biology, and psychology. So you can look into these and see like full tuition. This is full funding, for example, in Atlanta. We have graduate assistantships, but then after so we have some specifically just for psychology, PsyD scholarships, and then when it runs out, it will give you all subject scholarships like this one, Super KUSE scholarship in Kyoto. It says all subjects, but there is a very good like warning here. Please note that all subjects refers specifically to those offered by the university. Be sure that the subject you are searching for is part of the university's thing. Basically, like this means if the university is offering that. So yeah, I think like a lot of universities will be offering psychology. Anyway, I don't see any other questions. Okay, the moment I said that. University College London full funding scholarship for bachelors. I feel like James Bond that you could do that yourself. Let's see. By using our search tool. University College London. I think we made a tutorial about this one, like application tutorial on our YouTube channel. Full funding scholarship for bachelors. So, yeah, we have a video on this, how to apply. So basically, you can go to the page. Let me actually share the page, like if you're interested in studying in this university. You can just then click on scholarships. As you can see, there are 5 different scholarships. What on earth is going on in TikTok? What is that? What are you seeing exactly? I'm not. What? Okay. So we have one undergraduate. It's full tuition for bachelors. So UCL Global Undergraduate Scholarship. Okay. TikTok is acting out. I'm not sure what's going on here. So as you can see, there are no full funding scholarships for bachelors in UCL. You could, although, so this is 100% tuition fees. Hang on. Well, it says full tuition, but it covers 100% of tuition fees, living stipend, fixed allowance for additional costs for 10 recipients for the duration of the course. So yeah, this sounds more like full funding. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong. So we've also made a video about that. This one too. You can just click here by watching that, guys. But this looks like a full funding scholarship. This is the thing which I was confused. So percent reduction in tuition fees, 23. So this is just for 10 recipients. Like normally 33 people get this. For 23, it's just 100% tuition reduction, which means it's full tuition. And just for 10 people, it is also living stipend, etc. So it's full funding. Let's see the details on that. So awards, full tuition fees, and maintenance allowance. We have eligibility. low income backgrounds, admission benefits. Okay, blah 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 blah. So we have 3 specifically for students from India. I'm pretty sure I'm just like playing time here. While and that video you said Indians have more advantage. Can you tell me what yeah, this one? So it has 23 normal full tuition fees, 10 scholarships covering full tuition fees, etc. And so 3 specifically for people from India. Acting masters in the US. Okay, we can look at that. Eamon, did you have time to look this up? Eamon, are you here? Are you muted? You're not muted.
Am I muted?
Ah,
Hello?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, okay, I can hear you.
yes, this should be the fully funded scholarship. And
All right.
um, yes, and as you mentioned, if a certain nationality has specific seats or a specific number of recipients, they definitely have the advantage as they have a guaranteed 3 spots, 3 scholarships. So Indian students have uh, a slight advantage, like in comparison to other students, but UCL remains a very, very competitive university, a very selective university. It's a Russell Group university, and it's expected. So only the top students from India would get in anyway. So it's not about anyone. You'd have to be someone with good academic records, a good extracurriculars. Um, you need to stand out among all applicants in order to secure a scholarship at UCL.
Right, thank you. So yeah, it should be yeah, James Bond, it should be full tuition. Again, though, like the university is already very competitive. Scholarship, especially the full funding part, would be even more competitive. And I wish I could say like like those 3 Indian seats would have less competition, but it's Britain, so I would think like there will be a lot of people from India that would go for those 3 seats. So even those 3 very specific for a nation, those will still be very high competition. Could you check for acting masters in the US? So we have these here. Unfortunately, there aren't that many masters scholarships for specifically for acting. Now, we have a lot of scholarships, as you can see, like about hundreds of those that you can see here that says all subjects, but that means all subjects that is offered by that university. So if that university does not offer acting as a program, you cannot. What am I explaining? You cannot see anything. Sorry. Um. All right. This is not good. Oh no. So hang on. All right. So I'm gonna have to. No, it will not. It will just not show. I like you can watch maybe the YouTube live stream. That might be a better idea. Or you could just go to globalscholarships.com, type in acting. Jesus. Okay. So I like you would really do well to go and watch us on YouTube. We have a search tool. You can just go to globalscholarships.com. There are no registration, no payment or anything. It's just like you can type in acting or United States, and then you will see our filters. You know what? I'll just wait for you. I'll just wait for you. Let me know. Let me know when you are on our YouTube live stream. Then I will explain it. Okay. We're visible on. Yeah. Okay. James Bond says, "Is there any way to get application fee waiver in UCL?" Um, did you look at our application tutorial? Because like I think if there is a way to waive that, I think I would have mentioned it, but I'm not sure right now. Eamon, do you have any information ready for that?
Um, yes. I mean, there is a way, but I don't think it applies to most people. The only way you would get a fee waiver is in case of displacement, uh like a war, which would be probably the case for people in Ukraine, for example, but it wouldn't apply to other countries. There are a few programs that are exempted from the application fee, and all of them are postgraduate programs, either master's or postgraduate certificates. So you should look into those and see if what you're applying for is among those programs that are exempted. Otherwise, you would have to pay the £90 fee.
All right, thank you. Eh, if it kind of depends on displacement, that's probably something I wouldn't see or wouldn't mention perhaps in the tutorial. So sorry about that. But yeah, looks like something that wouldn't be available for a lot of people. Welcome, Musa. So here is our website, globalscholarships.com. So you go here, we have a lot of guides, etc., etc. I've done the introduction. So basically, you can go here, applying. Okay, James, I'll come back to you in a second. So you can choose acting here, right, as a subject. Completely, as you can see, it's completely free. You can choose location here in United States and then say masters. Now, here's the thing: how subjects work. As you can see, we have a lot of scholarships here. How subjects work is when you. Sorry, our filters need a little time. So yeah, how it works is basically when you put in a subject like engineering, let's say, it first shows you the scholarships that are specifically for that, like scholarships that mention that program specifically. So you know what? Let's say, for example, engineering. Yeah, see, we have arts, business, education, engineering. So after it runs out of those scholarships, it will show all subjects. But all subjects means that all subjects that is offered by that university. So if the university does not offer acting, then you will not be able to apply to the scholarship through acting because like you won't be able to take that program in the university in the first place. So I would look at the universities one by one, like to see what universities offer that program. And then a lot of universities in United States, they offer something called graduate assistantships. Basically, this is kind of like being employed, more touching with the bachelor program. Which bachelor program, Kashif? Like if you have any specific program in mind, we might be more helpful. So basically, this is like being employed by the university. So you go to the university, you work as an assistant, like 20 hours a week. You might be a teaching assistant, you might be like a research assistant. Yeah, then they give you a lot of stuff. But like first, you need to have you need to be sure that yeah, you need to, it's not like kind of full time. I mean, when you work full time as a full time assistant, it's still like 20 hours a week. They also don't let you work more than like maybe 30 hours, and for even for that you have to get like a special permission, etc. So yeah, first you need to see whether the university offers acting as a program. And then also one thing you have to keep in mind about graduate assistantships is that you cannot really depend on that. You have to first apply to the university, apply to the program, be admitted, go there, start studying, and then you can apply for the assistantship. If you get it, it will cover a lot, but you cannot apply to the university before going there and studying. You cannot apply for the scholarship before going there and studying, starting your studies. Sorry. James Bond, do you have any idea of in-campus jobs in KAIST University, like how much can we work and earn during our undergraduate degree. So first of all, let's look at bachelor's engineering. Right. So let's choose engineering. I know what, I'll just hit enter here. So I don't have a lot of information about in-campus jobs. One thing you could do is go to global scholarships, go to guides, and then choose South Korea. South Korea. And then go scroll down, financing your studies, cheapest universities. Hang on. Types of visa. Yeah, you see work opportunities. You can look at these. 4 ways to work while studying in South Korea for international students. Or hang on. How to study in Korea for free. Maybe you can get more information than that, but not specifically for that university. Damn, acting is my passion, but I'm doing computer engineering bachelor's in Turkey right now. I see. I also really like acting, like I do it all the time on stage as an amateur. What about master's scholarships in UK? Again, guys, I would really advise you to use the search tool. It is very simple to use. You can just like type in United Kingdom here and go and see. Eamon, are you, by the way, aware of like do you possess any specific information about like work opportunities on campus, KAIST? That's very specific. I mean, we are always asking for more specific questions, but that is very specific.
Like as far as I know, it's quite rare to find on-campus jobs outside countries like the US or a few countries in Europe, and especially at KAIST. It's a very prestigious university where you're mostly expected to go there to study. I think most work opportunities are not readily available for English speaking students. And I'm not even aware if there is work on campus, but outside of campus, you'd need to speak Korean in order to get a job in most universities in South Korea. So as far as I know, that the workload is huge when it comes to studies. So you would probably not even have time to work outside the university. KAIST is basically regarded as MIT is in the United States, so there is a huge expectation, or there are huge expectations of students, and the biggest expectation is that you're there to study, to excel at whatever you're studying. I don't think if you'd have time to work, and even if you did, you would need to work outside the university, and you'd need to have or be proficient in Korean.
Okay, thank you. Kashif Khan says, I'm a Pakistani student here in North Cyprus. Okay. I'm doing a Bachelor of AI, but it is hard for me to complete my studies due to high tuition fees and accommodations. How can you help me to leave this country? Which country should I focus? So, yeah. I'm not sure how things are really, like how do they work in northern Cyprus? Like it is kind of, it's not really a part of Turkey, but it's kind of very close. For the reasons I don't really want to go in a YouTube video right now. But like if you want to get outside of Turkey as a Pakistani student, first of all, one thing you need to decide is, do you want to leave your program, like leave the program you are in completely, and then start as a new, like start to a new program from 0.0, or do you want to be a transfer student, because those two are like that also kind of depends on your like the which year you are on. So like because those two situations will give you completely different um, opportunities. So let's like if you can give us more information about like whether you are, I think like since you clearly stated that your main goal is to leave northern Cyprus, I think you wouldn't really be all that interested in studying in Turkey too, and I think you would be ready to completely leave your program and then start. I want to check for masters related to computer engineering in the US. Are there any tips and specifics I should look out for in the universities, or are there any unorthodox program types, etc., etc.? So, first of all, like if tuition fees and accommodation, etc., are too much for you in northern Cyprus, United States might not be the best bet for you. Maybe like other European countries could be like more affordable for you. For example, we talked about Italy in this live stream. Like tuition fees are way lower. I'm interested in program, but reason is high tuition fees. I think you are in a like I believe you are in a private university, because in Turkey like public universities do not charge a lot of tuition fees, if they do even so. So like in United States, first of all, you will have to face a lot of high tuition fees unless you can get a scholarship, and then like because like I didn't want to leave, but I'm confusing how it will be possible to complete it. I see. Yeah, there are a lot of ways. There are a lot of reasons to be very, let's say, non-optimistic about your future in Turkey. I kind of understand that. But like if you're planning to leave United States, you'll have a lot of tuition fees. You will have like very high living costs, etc. So like maybe some universities in Europe might be a better idea for you. And also like if you want to study in Asia, Taiwan or China has very low expenses, very low tuition fees, and more scholarships too. Eamon, do you have anything specific you would like to say? Like I think um, like I'm kind of working on an assumption that you're like you don't have a scholarship right now in Turkey. Like you are in a private university without any scholarships. So like I'm also working on an assumption that you're looking for a country that you can study without any scholarships, and USA is very very difficult for you to afford without any scholarships. Like it is way more expensive. So like somewhere in Europe might be more affordable. And if you're looking for scholarships, what you can do is go to globalscholarships.com and look for scholarships in the United States. Eamon, do you want to add anything about like do you have an advice that you would want to give?
Um, I mean, it's pretty much the same advice. Short of getting a scholarship, I don't think that changing the country would help with anything, even though tuition would be free in some parts of Europe. But whatever you're saving up on tuition, you'll be paying double in living expenses.
Yeah.
I think living in Cyprus would be at least a third or a quarter of what it would cost to live in Germany per
Yes.
month. And basically, it will just snowball. And at the end of the year, you would spend way more on living expenses than you would have spent on tuition in Cyprus. So, the only advice I can give really is try to apply for scholarships. And if you get one that covers your living expenses in any other country, or a fully funded one, then just go for it. Otherwise, I think you're just going to have to stick with Cyprus. Or
Although, like, I'm sorry, I'm
I am.
interrupting you,
Yep.
but like some some universities in Turkey can charge ridiculously high tuition fees. Like if you're in that sort of a situation, even with living costs, maybe studying somewhere with a cheaper tuition fee might be a little bit more um, like rational, because so Musa says that Turkey actually is cheaper, and it normally is, and it should be. But with the recent occurrences in recent years, and like after a couple of years, like 4 or 5 years, dealing with like 50%, more than 60% inflation, with like foreign currencies really oppressed, or whatever it is, it can be like the other day there was like a post on Instagram that was saying like uh, a croissant in a cafe in Istanbul is more expensive than a croissant you will eat in Paris. So like I can kind of understand, like because I'm living in Turkey, kind of understand what they are kind of going through. So yeah, like it kind of depends on your tuition fee, because again some universities can like charge very high tuition fees, but if you don't have any scholarships, yeah, USA won't be a very good idea. Maybe somewhere in Europe, but cheaper than Germany, perhaps something like Portugal, maybe Spain, maybe Italy, I would say, I guess. So yeah, that might be a better idea. Sorry, I interrupted you just to like make clear a little bit, because Musa is also talking about the same thing. So like Turkey is very cheap normally, but is getting increasingly like unreasonably expensive year by year. I just wanted to say that too. Please, sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was pretty much done with my point at that point. Yeah,
Okay.
so that was all I had to say.
So yeah, there are some that have like 3,000, more than that, I believe. Like some universities, Koç University, for example, isn't like a couple of 100,000 liras or something. There are some universities that are charging like insane tuition fees, and obviously they offer a lot of like high quality of education. But I don't really know about Northern Cyprus. So yeah, like my advice would be to maybe look at some places like um, I would guess you would want to go west from here, and like maybe Spain. Look at Portugal, Halic. Is that without any scholarship, like some any tuition reduction or something? I think Halic is a little more reasonable. I think like Koç University, was it extremely high? Uh, anyway, so yeah, Turkey is pretty cheap. A lot of options, more things to do than Cyprus. At least I don't really have a lot of information about on Cyprus. I don't even like. I'm not even sure which ministry you work with when you're in Cyprus. Focused on the US, because regardless, I would still like to end up in. I see. Yeah. So like, if you are very very completely decided, like that set on studying in the United States, you can like there are a lot of scholarships that you might find, and like maybe you'll have a better chance of studying somewhere cheaper, more affordable, with lower cost of living. Because one thing about USA is that they have like for example in Switzerland we've seen you'll have places like 2,000 Swiss francs per month, but also like you can as go as low as maybe 1,600, 1,700. Like you will not go very low from that, but that's not really the case from United States. We have some very high living cost places in the United States, and some very low living cost places. So yeah, that might be like if you get like a full tuition scholarship, and then go and live in a place where maybe you'll need $600 a month. Yeah, that might be affordable. But without any scholarships, even the look like the basic scholarship will cost you more than what you would spend in Switzerland. So yeah, okay. I don't see any other questions in YouTube, and TikTok is I just finished it already, ended it because like it's not working the live stream. So I think it's time to end our live stream here. Thank you everyone for joining in. My thoughts is are that if into the United States with opportunities there, I should be able to find a way to cover some chunks of the costs. Hopefully, hopefully like it will be a way more stable economy than the Turkish economy, that is for sure. Like you will know what will be happening in like 4 years later, 5 years later. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a kind of a longer than um, intended live stream. Thank you for joining in. If you're watching this on VOD, thank you very much for watching. And Eamon, thank you for joining in for today's live stream.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. See you next week. Have a nice week and